Welcome everyone back to the channel. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And this year we are working on our goal of getting $50,000 in Doordash income alone. We've had some challenges so far this year, and the last couple of days have been a little bit light, especially on the daytime shift. So we are in Lawrence, Indiana, which is a zone inside the greater Indianapolis area. We're going to see how this goes. We'll do this for the majority of the day today, and then during the evening time when it gets dark, we're going to go back to our hometown of Greenfield, Indiana, and finish out our shift there. But it is Friday, January the 16th. It is about 8:30, and we're getting it all started here, so we'll see how this goes. So this zone is having peak pay time, so we get an extra $1 for every order up until, well, for the next half hour, it looks like. It is a 2-minute wait, so that's not bad. And here in the metropolitan area, we do expect to get a higher volume of orders, higher frequency, faster orders, and things like that. But we will have to deal with construction. We will have to deal with more traffic, as well as probably longer wait times at the actual restaurants. So the first 45 minutes, we've actually gotten 3 orders. We got a $6 order, a $5 order, and a $4 order. The $4 order is not great. $4 going 7 miles. But the other 2 orders were pretty decent. Hopefully, like I said, we can just keep up with a good volume of orders, and the dollars to miles will balance throughout the day. I'll go ahead and accept some that are slightly bad, but the $2-3 orders, we don't want to mess with those.
North Post Road.
But I also don't want to kill my acceptance rating. We were at 100% just 2 days ago. Yesterday we dropped down to 96%. Well, we just got out of the KFC. We took what could have been a really great order. We got in the parking lot there, and we got a second order. So 2 orders from KFC, both picking up, both going a similar direction. Could have been really good for us. 15 minutes it took them. Wow, well over 15 minutes. They actually managed to mess up how they bagged it 3 times on one of the orders. Okay, so we got an order for $2.25 going 3 miles, which we declined, and we instantly got the next order, which was $10.40 going 4.2 miles. So there's going to be a lot of declines when you're in the city, but potentially more money and a lot quicker pace. Well, after we dropped off at the hospital, we got a pretty decent order, $10.90 going about 6 miles. That was 2 orders there from Chipotle, and it's actually moving us to the direction of our zone where we started. So that's good. So now that I've dropped that off, we're only 4 miles away from our zone. And remember, we left our zone and went 10 miles to downtown for that hospital order. And we just get back into our zone right where we were getting ready to stop and check for an order. We get an order for White Castles, $12 going 6 miles.
Continue for 2 miles.
So yeah, all of these orders are a lot more miles on the car, a lot more time in between. So I got to get used to accepting larger dollar orders for that. That a $5 and $6 order is just not going to cut it here inside the city. You still make money, but yeah, I'm running at the same pace. I'm running at the same dollar per hour, but I'm doing a higher volume. There's no wait time. There's no wait time in between orders, so that doesn't make sense. We should be making more money per hour. I have no idea what this guy is doing. I've been watching him for probably at least 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I better not get dinged for being late. He was like nearly jackknifed trying to I guess he's trying to back into this parking lot, but just doesn't know what he's doing. There we go. I think he's got it. Wait a minute. Oh, he's got it. We're good. Yay. But if you look farther down, We're railroaded anyway, so it doesn't really matter on the time. Oh, his gate is... Oh, no. His lift gate just popped off. Okay, so we get this order. $9.50 going about 9 miles for Panera Bread. We're going to pick up at Panera Bread and drop off for 2 different customers. So I get there, and the first order is ready, and then the second order I'm going to wait on. So I'm standing there waiting for a little bit.
Enter the roundabout and take the second exit onto North German Church Road.
With that order in front of me, a guy comes up behind me and he's like, "Hey, is that for such and such?" I'm like, "Well, yeah,
Enter the roundabout
says it
and
right
take
there
the
on the
second exit
bag."
onto North German Church Road.
I'm like, "Yeah," and he shows me his phone and it's green, so I'm guessing it's like an Uber order or something, Uber Eats, because I think they're green. So he shows me on his phone, which it's a green app, which I'm thinking is like Uber Eats or something. I'm like, "No, this is Doordash." He's like, "That's my order." I'm like, "Well, it's mine on Doordash here." He's like, "No, that's my food." So it takes a minute to understand that I think he might be the customer coming to check on his food, why it's taken so long. At that point, I had only been there for a couple of minutes. So I'm assuming there was some miscommunication or something about this order. It was somebody's, because it was just initials. It wasn't a full name, it was just initials. And so anyway, he takes the food, he leaves. We get that sorted out. And then I'm waiting on the other order 45 minutes. Really? And I'm already thinking, now my money's got cut in half because of this guy picking up his stuff, because I had to unassign for the one. So I'm like, man, 45 minutes plus a 15-minute drive to the customer for $4? No. Yeah, I really should have unassigned that when I realized there was a wait. But you get to this certain point where, like, after about 20 minutes, you're like, it's got to be coming any minute. And you don't, in your foggiest life, think it's going to be 45 minutes on an order. That's crazy. At Panera Bread. So we worked a little bit of time there in the city. Exactly what I expected. We had orders one right after the other. We did have some lowball orders that were able to not accept. It did lower our acceptance rating quite a bit. However, we drove quite a few miles today, but we did make some money. And the other part of it was that I'd planned on taking a small break there and then coming back home to my hometown there for just outside of Indianapolis for the evening shift on Friday evening. However, I had a bad headache. I have a brain injury, so sometimes I get in stressful situations and it promotes a headache. Sometimes it could be weather related, and it possibly could have been also due to the fact that I skipped my morning coffee and kind of ran out of coffee, and I didn't want to buy one. So I had a decent lunch from this wonderful place there that I like to go when I'm in Indy, and I also had a soda, which I don't normally have, but I felt like I needed a little bit of caffeine. I came home and I took some medicine that I normally take for my headaches, lay down for a little bit, and I didn't plan on laying down quite that long, but here it is, Friday night, and I'm still not feeling 100%, so I think we're going to work for a couple of hours and see what happens. No real goal here. I just want to, continue on with the day and make sure that we have a decent day so that I don't get farther behind like I did from the last couple of weeks and everything. I am a little bit upset with myself that I took that break because there was a peak period where it was plus 250 an hour up till 5:30 in that zone that we were at. That would have been sweet to get those and then finish that and then come on into my town. But we do have peak pay of plus $1 till 9 p.m. tonight. It says average of 2 minutes per order. So let's take a look at this. Let's see what happens. We'll turn it on now. Let's double check our ratings and see where those are. Yeah, where our acceptance rate a couple of days ago was 100%. We're down to 92. So we'll probably focus on taking every order that we can, which hopefully won't be too rough on us. There we go, our first order, Chick-fil-A, which is right there. That's why I parked here. We are right in front of Chipotle and Panera, right next to Chick-fil-A, right next to Steak and Shake.
Drive north, then turn left.
Do this. Right there it is. Let's go. Okay, well, we just dropped our first order off and we get an instant second order. $23.69 going 5 miles. It's 2 drop-offs from Papa John's, which Papa John's on Friday night, we will have to wait a little bit. But that $23 combined with our other $5, that's $28.50 out the gate. That definitely pays for our first hour and a half, so we've got a little bit of time we can wait. Well, actually, at the pizza place Papa John's, they were a little bit backed up, but they were just kind of getting out of that rush right when I got there, so they were getting caught up. So we didn't have to wait very long. So that was a good run, and the drop-offs were fairly easy. And then I drop off at the second pizza, and we instantly get another order, $8.75 for Bob Evans. So far starting off a very good evening here for Friday evening. Very good for us. We haven't even been going for an hour, and we're over $35. That would be nice to make $35 every hour that we work. But again, you take the good with the bad. It's all about the law of averages. And so that's why I always talk about $15 an hour. Yes, that sounds like it's on the low end, but if I budget my life around the $15 an hour, I'm prepared for when it hits 16. And I'm still in the bonus category. Okay, so surprisingly, at Bob Evans, that order was ready as soon as I walked in. That was great. So we hit right at the 1 hour mark. We started at 6:25 and we dropped that off at 7:27 or something like that. So right at 1 hour. And we are at $37. Great start. And now we instantly got an order for Papa John's Pizza again. $10.50 going 7 miles. We got 2 miles to get to Papa John's, so it'll be 5 miles afterwards. So once we get the pizza in our hand, it should be probably about 10 minutes. Okay, so we just pulled into Papa John's Pizza, and the order number is about 30 orders from where we were before. So let's see, it's 34 orders from the orders that we just delivered a few minutes ago. So it could be a moment. But $10.50 for the Papa John's, and then when we pull into the lot, we get an order for Pizza Hut, $6.25. We will have to wait a while here, but it's still going to be a good night. So I have to complain about this algorithm. I mentioned it before that it should be whoever is closest to the restaurant gets the order so it can get to the customer quicker. However, there's something on the back end of this algorithm that knows where you just were, and it wants to constantly take you there. I just came from Indianapolis. I paused the orders so I wouldn't get any more going to Indianapolis. I come back here, I sit around without an order. It's been busy, so there's obviously orders out there. So I get the impression, is it searching for an order that puts me back in Indianapolis? And the order I get, when I do get an order, 7 miles going straight west towards Indianapolis. It's just not right, man. It's not right. It should be where you're at, whoever is closest, not where you've been. Why do I want to keep driving 7 miles to drive 7 miles back every trip?
Okay, so how do we do for Friday? We wanted to work 12 hours and we wanted to come up with $180. Unfortunately, we didn't work the full 12 hours. We only worked 9.5 hours today. Doordash paid us $69.95 and we came up with $102.64 in tips, which brought our totals to $172.59, very close to our 180 goal with a lot less time. So that brought our total earnings hourly to $18.16, not too bad. We did manage to drive 193 miles, so $0.89 per mile. Yeah, 89 cents per mile. So a couple of things that we did learn, some takeaways with dashing in the city, was that the orders come in a lot faster, a lot more frequent. So if you do happen to get those $2 and $3 orders, you can decline them because you're going to get another order right behind it. However, even the average orders or the short orders do tend to add more miles, because from the restaurant to the residence is generally going to be, I think probably the average was about 4 or 5 miles. We had a couple where we went an extreme amount of time, where we actually went downtown. Remember, to that hospital. That was crazy. But it was somebody's lunch, and they enjoyed that. Oh, and also, as far as our profitability, we spent $30 in gas, and we treated ourselves to a decent lunch. So that took out $17 more there for the lunch. However, if you do take out the mileage and the deductions on taxes, then, as always, somebody owes us gas money. Just saying. If you did enjoy today, don't forget, hit that thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. I appreciate you all so much, and everybody have a wonderful day.